Hey, howdy, folks. Howdy. I'm Black Dragon, and welcome to another edition of Black Dragon Biker TV. And we've got Insane Throttle Biker News, and we've got Danny D.Low Biker TV. So, welcome to another edition of Black Dragon Biker TV, Insane Throttle Biker News, and Danny D.Low Biker TV. And as always, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. Got an interesting one today, fellas. Oh, let me turn you guys' microphones on. That'd be nice. What's up, guys?
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
What up, everybody?
I know it's not playing on my channel, though.
Why not?
I don't know. Ask yourself. You're the one who's controlling it.
Is it playing on my channel?
Let's see. That's interesting. Here, Hollywood, I just sent you another link. What?
Hey, can you check if it's playing on mine too?
No, it's on yours, man.
Oh, okay.
You put the wrong link on, bro.
It's working now.
Okay. Yeah. You guys have been on my butt today, man.
Hey, you know.
This morning.
Yeah, my bad. Y'all just ain't gonna let me you're just not gonna let that go, huh? All right, I got it. It's okay.
Yeah, it's good. I won't do it in public, but damn. Okay. So Hollywood's been covering this story, and we haven't been together and done anything in a while. And this story is, oh my goodness, it's just the worst kind of story you can think about. And the question in tonight's video is, in tonight's subject is, is there a line by which someone can cross over and they've done something so bad that, hey, dude, I'm call the police on you. I don't care what. So is there a time in our lives, even in motorcycle clubs, if the MC will actually call on you and say, hey, that's it, or whatever it used to be. So Hollywood, why don't you give us a quick preamble into this? This is a story you've been working on for a while.
Basically, this happened out in Washington State. It involved the Careaga Murders or Careaga Murders, where two 16-year-olds, a wife and another guy got killed. Sad stuff, man. Sad stuff. And it happened in 2017, and finally the club came forward and turned there you go. Turned in members that did it.
So let's you say the club turned in the people in their club that did it.
Yeah, club members.
So what made you get on this? You had said something about it, and people had said that they were snitches or something. Is that what?
Yeah, they started going around their snitches and all that good stuff. And I was like, man, what kind of human beings are you, man? Kids got killed. We don't get into that type of stuff. And it just kept on going and going. Then getting some calls from members of other clubs. It was like, damn, man, don't you guys got any damn soul? It kind of got me hot.
So let's play something here from the internet where this reporter gets into the actual story and what happens. We'll play a little bit of this, and then we will play another clip, and then we'll come back with the commentary. Is that good, guys? That good for you guys, D.Low? You got anything you want to say before we show the clip? Okay.
No, I'm good, man. I had to turn my mic back on. My bad.
All right, let's hit it.
Rose on location in Kitsap County, where the Spotlight has exclusive information on a horrific homicide, 5.5 years in the making. This was an intense and exhaustive investigation that led to the arrest of 3 suspects just in court behind me, as the families of the murder victims finally got to see their faces. This is a twisted, sordid tale involving kilos of cocaine, a kidnapping, torture, arsons, and outlaw bikers. It started with a frantic 911 call.
Listen, I'm shot right now. My family's dead.
That's 16-year-old Hunter Scott, shot twice and left for dead in a pool of accelerant.
There's no words for it. There's no words of the fear that my brothers felt. There's no words to describe the fear that my mom felt.
When the killers heard him make that call, they put a pillow against his head and fired a fatal shot through his brain. Then they set the Careaga home on fire and disappeared into the night. That was January 27th, 2017.
They tried to make it as difficult as they could for us to solve the crime. And that's one of the things the challenges that's taken so long to come to the place that we are today with those 3 in jail.
The burned out house belonged to Johnny Careaga. Inside were the bodies of his wife, Crystal, and 2 16-year-old boys from their blended family, Jonathan Higgins and Hunter, who made the 911 call. Early on, detectives with the Kitsap County Sheriff's Office honed in on this man, Danny Kelly Jr. At one point, he and Johnny Careaga were tight.
Hunter called him uncle. So to be able to do that.
Yeah, Danny Kelly was his best man at his first wedding. Them kids called him uncle when they were babies. Uncle Danny.
Detectives say Danny sold pot for Johnny, but they had a falling out over money years ago. And there were hard feelings. Danny also grew up on the property where the murders happened, but his father sold it to Johnny's mother to avoid going into foreclosure. According to the charging documents, Johnny Careaga had graduated from dealing pot to selling cocaine, picking up a kilo or 2 at a time from family connections in California.
Did you guys know Johnny was involved in doing trafficking in some drugs? Was that talked about?
I've never heard of anything about that.
Okay.
We were just, in my mind, we were just a little perfect family that spent a lot of time together.
Witnesses say Johnny's kilos were packed so tightly, they needed to be busted apart with a hammer.
The person he was likely getting it from was a family friend who owns an auto shop where they use those hydraulic lifts where they can compress it.
That's important because after the murders, detectives say Bobby Watson, the vice president of the Bremerton chapter of the Banditos Motorcycle Club, was seen with the same tightly compressed cocaine. Detectives say it was stolen the night the Careaga family was murdered, along with a huge stash of cash hidden on the property. After the murders, Bobby got fired from his job at Kitsap County Public Works because he stopped showing up. But investigators say he made a series of structured bank deposits just below the $10,000 reporting limit.
Some of the over $300,000 that was moved within his accounts within a short amount of time could legitimately be explained, but a large portion of it couldn't.
Detectives say Bobby was Danny Kelly's sponsor in the Banditos. These images show him at a Target store wearing a T-shirt with the motorcycle club's colors. Investigators say he was buying a burner phone 12 days before the murders. At that time, Danny was just a prospect. In outlaw motorcycle culture, he has to do whatever he's told by full patch members. Cell tower records show the phone was only used to call Johnny. It was stored at Bobby's house. The night of the murder, it was in a car that was moving to the Camp Union store where Johnny was seen on camera meeting with someone in a silver Mercedes. Bobby's brother, Johnny Watson, owns a silver Mercedes. Witnesses say Careaga went there after getting a phone call at home.
Someone said something and he was saying, I didn't do that. I wouldn't do something like that. That's, right. So somebody was warning, if you will.
Witnesses told detectives that Johnny's demeanor quickly changed. He left the house and drove to the store. After the meeting, Careaga's truck and the silver Mercedes leave. The burner phone pings towers heading towards the Careaga's house. Witnesses say two men were then heard arguing with Careaga in his garage. That was around 9:30 p.m. Then a neighbor saw Johnny's truck speeding away with Danny Kelly behind the wheel, followed by a silver car. Detectives believe they kidnapped John. Then Bobby Watson, his brother Johnny Watson, and Danny Kelly all returned to the Careaga house, where they shot and killed 16-year-old Jonathan Higgins and his mom, Crystal. 2 hours later, Hunter comes home with pizza, sees Crystal and Jonathan dead, and then he gets shot. 2 days later, their dad's body found in his burned-out truck on a tree farm in Mason County.
16-year-olds were taken over greed and something so ugly. They were so pure and they were so loving, and to know that their lives were taken over something so stupid is just disgusting to me.
Detectives telling the Spotlight they had the Watson brothers and Danny Kelly pegged as the killers fairly early in the investigation, but they were delayed by an outlaw biker code of silence, fearful witnesses, and COVID closing the courts. Then on June 6th, almost 5.5 years after the investigation started, detectives announced they had arrested 3 men. Outside the Kitsap County Sheriff's Office, a buzz of anticipation mixed with spent adrenaline hung in the air. Family gathered to hug detectives and each other, anxious to get details of the arrests.
I want to see these people locked up forever. I want them to be no longer in society. I wish we had the death penalty.
The follow.
So, as it is, and you guys can see the rest of that thing, but what we come to is a couple guys in a club go and kill an entire family. And one of the things that is pointed out in this in this and other news clips is nobody believed that the club had anything to do with it, but these guys have killed a couple 16-year-olds. Did you guys hear the part where the kid was called in his murder?
He was on the phone. He told them he was shot and later died. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he said, I was shot and my whole family's dead. And then
he called 911 and said all of that while he was dying.
And then shortly after that, someone put a gun to a pillow up next to his head and finished him off. So that's a terrible thing.
It's beyond terrible. It's that's what a cartel would do to somebody, not a MC, not a member of an MC. You would have never thought that. And I think the first thing we got to get out of the way is the definition of a snitch or a rat. And I actually like the definition that Danny gave the other day when we were discussing this video as we move forward. Because the hell that I caught for saying, hey, I believed in what the guys did, man. Turn the son of guns in. That's the human thing to do.
Right.
So at some point, his own brothers turned him in?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I think we have that video. Let me see if I can.
That way everybody can hear that.
That's the Shockwave flashlight. Now, this thing does something that you've probably never seen.
Okay,
that's right, Stephen Joyce.
The Shockwave
here in Kitsap County say that the Banditos are known for their hatred of police. But in this case, they were actually helpful because a couple of their members may have crossed the line.
I'm hoping to raise a couple $1,000.
Public knew John Careaga as a local taqueria owner involved in positive community events like this taco fundraiser in 2012. But according to investigators, Careaga was also involved in drug dealing and had customers who were members of the Banditos Motorcycle Club, including 2 of the suspects arrested yesterday, Danny Kelly Jr. and Robert Watson III. According to Kitsap County investigators, the Banditos are one of the largest motorcycle gangs in the country, known for drug dealing, violent crimes, and a dislike of police. An entry-level member is considered a hang-around, but can be promoted to prospect if they fulfill all requests of their mentors. Detectives say Kelly got promoted to prospect after the killings by his sponsor, Watson III, who was then vice president of the Bremerton Banditos.
When they're asking for something to be done, it is generally expected that a hang-around or even a prospect would do those those acts.
Lead Detective Lisa Gundrum does not consider the Careaga killings gang-related. She said local Bandito members were actually cooperative with police, even the club's president, letting detectives know Watson III supposedly showed up to someone's house hours after the killings without any pants, and that Watson had allegedly changed his stories about his involvement with the family's murder.
They have a sense of loyalty, and they want to defend and obviously protect their brothers, but they won't stand. Again, this is what I was told. They won't stand for a member who kills children and women.
Well, I think that says it all. What this guy's going to go into next is how bad the club is and how terrible they are, and that at some point they were suspected of actually being involved. But I hate it when they do that, because they just said the club wasn't involved, and they just said that the club doesn't stand for hurting women and children. They just said that. But if I play a little bit further,
according to detectives, not long after,
yeah, they then they go back to slamming the club again, which I'm not gonna do that because they just said the club wasn't involved in that. But I think it's, in my day, when I first joined the club, there were things that they told us very clearly. If you do these things, you're going to be out of here. These are things we don't stand for. And I think it's important to note that you spend all this time, especially in the beginning of the piece, talking about how notorious, how bad drug dealing and this, that, and the other. You say all these negative things, but only to have to come back and say midway through the piece, this was not gang related. This had nothing to do with the club. And in fact, the club clearly said, we ain't hanging with this. This ain't our thing. So what do you think about that, Danny? What do you think?
You know what, man? There's so much about this situation that bothers me. Just because of things I've been involved with in my life. First of all, it's a club. It's not a gang. Let's just get that the hell out the way. I'm so sick of hearing that from the news media. One of the things that bugs me a little bit, actually, and it's going to sound stupid to you guys, but those of us that know, we know how the girl talks about that the bricks of cocaine were packed so tightly that it was used by a lift at a motorcycle or at a car dealer or something like that. Like, well, obviously you don't know where cocaine comes from, stupid. It's such a heinous act. It's such a heinous crime that being a biker, period, whether you in a club or not, you got to be bothered by it. And for me, my hat in respect is to that nation, to that chapter that stepped up, because number one rule was already broke. They hang around at a prospect or whatever, went and bought a quote unquote burner phone. By the way, everybody, there's no such thing as a burner phone anymore. Obviously, you can see by this video. So I don't know why everybody calls it a burner phone anymore. You can still be tracked. He's buying a phone in his colors. So that was number one rule that's broke right there. But to me, man, I don't see that club is snitching or nothing like that. They did the right thing, and that was the smart thing to do. It was a smart play, number one. And those of us that know why I say that. But it was the human thing to do. I mean, and this is not the first time this has happened. I'm not going to say what club that was involved, but many years ago, there was a guy that was a member of a certain 1% club, one of the big four, I believe, and his brother actually killed this guy, his wife, and his family over some money and a bunch of like very high end jewelry, and that dude turned his own brother in because he was like, "Yo, that ain't right, dude. You killed a kid and a woman for no reason." So I mean, my hats off to them, man. I got respect for them, and let's be honest, man. Most of you trolls on here that are talking all that mess about, all their snitches, they're rats, blah blah blah. You ain't even a club, dude. So you're irrelevant. You don't even know how serious this is when you're in a club. how this affects you in so many ways on the MC set, with the police, and the world in general. So until you really know and you've been through something like that, shut up. Your opinion means nothing, man. I'm tired of y'all trolls talking on that mess, man. I really am. So I mean, that's just what I got to say about it, really, man. I'm sure I got more, but off the top of my head, that's what I can think of.
Well, what's even funnier is those trolls. They'll go out and say, "Well, the club should have took care of them." Well, wait a second. Why don't you go do it then? It's easy to talk,
Right.
it's easy to talk about it. That why don't you get off and do something? Like
Exactly. It's like I always say, man, unless you've dealt with this kind of a situation, you don't know. See, this, for me, I'm on both sides of the fence with this. I understand club guys, not the guys that are, commenting crap, like real actual club members. I understand why club guys would be like, man, that could have been handled differently. I get it because I've been on both sides of the fence. I've done time for not snitching. I've had somebody snitch on me and then I did time. So I've been on both sides of that fence. So I mean, I get it to a point, but all these people that, oh, you never talk to the cops ever, ever, ever. You never call 911. You never call the police, blah, blah, blah. If your brother goes down in an accident and he's laying there dying, so you're just going to let your brother die because, hey, man, call the silence, bro. Never call 911. Like, shut up, dude. You know what I mean? Like, stop it already.
well, they need to know what the difference between a rat is and doing the right
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And that's why we're here today.
The biggest, you know what? You live by a code if you're in the club scene. But if you're not in the club scene, man, you don't live by that code.
Well, there's people that live by that code, man. I mean, there's people that are from the streets that, they've been on the streets in the biker world or gang life or whatever it be. And yeah, they live by the code. I get that part, but people just need to understand what the difference is between snitching and being a rat. I mean, it's gotten a little ridiculous on here because I see it all the time on here. We all do,
Well,
and it's usually by the people that don't even matter in the MC world, but they got something to say. It's like, shut up.
The question I had for BD before we even started this is if your significant other was taken out.
Understand what the difference is between snitching and being a rat. I mean, it's gotten a little ridiculous on here because I see it all the time on here. We all do,
What happened?
You're refiltering the audio, man.
You recording me, Black Dragon? Speaking of snitches, what's up, dude? What's going on here, bro?
But I did. I asked Black Dragon straight up, what would you do if you were in this type of situation?
Yeah, listen, if I was in this type of situation, he'd have the same problem that he had from his club. I mean, I wouldn't stand. I just couldn't be a party to something like that. I couldn't know that you did that. Same thing with rape and molesting of a child or whatever the case may be. There are some things that you just go beyond the pill. And I'm not fixing to not say nothing because you raped this 3-year-old because we wear the same colors. I mean, you get the hell out of here with that.
Exactly. At that point, you ain't even a brother no more, and I don't want you to be my brother, so we're done here.
Yeah, you ain't no brother of mine.
Exactly.
At the same time, you get all these people out there commenting like they're Al Capone and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that's because everybody can hide behind a keyboard and be Al Capone, but on the street, we all know they can't even smoke a Capone cigar, not alone be Al. So
I don't know, but there are a lot of people who wouldn't say anything.
There are.
Yeah,
And you know what? And I get that to an extent too, believe it or not. Like I said, I've been on a couple of different sides here, and being from the street, I get that code of silence. I get where you get stuck in this mentality where you're like, do I do the right thing or do I keep my mouth shut because that's the stand-up thing to do? I totally understand that, man. And I really do get that, believe it or not. But when women and children are involved, man, I mean, first of all, we got to break down. I mean, being a biker, being in a club, regardless if you're in a club or not, even just being a biker in general, That's two of the biggest things that we stand for. You don't hurt children and you don't hurt women. Yeah, you got, some knuckleheads that, are here and there, but that's life. That's two of the biggest things that we stand for.
Yeah, you got some
So man, this dude recording me, bro. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on with that shit, but keep going.
No, I'm done, bro. You recording me, dog. I don't know, man.
Yes, it is recording.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm out.
Somebody said I'm weirded out at the time a non-member was asked to do business in the first place, but that's just the thing. He was not. He wasn't asked to do any business at all.
Nope.
They didn't take like, dude, this ain't us. This ain't. Matter of fact, one of the guys said on here, let me scroll up to it. He said the club is not going to handle this because it was not a club issue. The club is not going to let
that's right
be taken down for something that the club had nothing to do with. You can just because
sure there wasn't a club vote on this one.
No.
Yeah.
No, this is inside. This was the exact people that are involved. And let me point out that we all know the prospect and the hanger-on are going to be the two that snitch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and whether you blame them or not at this point, I don't know.
But at the same,
that is what it is.
It's a good point you just brought up. If the prospect or hang-around's going to snitch, well, wait a second here. You knew the game you were going in, and now all of a sudden you want to get yourself out of the game by giving somebody else up. And that's a good point of,
well,
go ahead.
That's the biggest problem, bro. And we've all seen it. And we've all seen it in the MCs that we've been in and are in and been around. There's so many of these people now that get involved in these clubs that aren't street dudes. So they got no street intelligence at all. You know what I mean? And they think that one member telling them, hey, we got to go handle this business real quick, brother, that's an order. That's an assignment. And it may be, but number one, what's the assignment, homie? We're going to kill a whole family. Yeah, you know what? I maybe this ain't the club for me, bro. I'll talk to y'all later. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Street Smart should have told you to stay out of that.
You're a man before anything, and
that's right.
Not saying it was club directed, but when the VP says, well, the VP can go take a dump. You're a man. I'd rather keep my soul intact to listen to some scumbag.
I'll tell you what, man, I'm a grown ass man, and I'll tell the straight truth now. And I've been there, done that. I've been ordered. Whatever. I've been through a bunch of shit in my life, and I wish the hell a grown man would come up to me and say, "Hey, bro, we got to go kill all these people for my drug business." Like, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm good. You go ahead and do your thing, bro. I'm out.
So when I was in the Navy, we had this thing called lawful orders. And the idea that somebody could order you to go into a village and kill up the entire village or something like that, you were required by the Uniform Code of Military Justice to obey only lawful orders. So you couldn't rest back on, well, he told me to do it. He said, let's rape this 13-year-old. So we did, or let's blow up this village, or let's, do some, let's go rob a bank with our military uniforms on because it's a foreign country. So I think that in the motorcycle club world too, perhaps there's an unwritten code of we're following orders that, make sense, or orders that in any way that should align with your moral conduct, because it's not going to be, you're not going to be able to sit down and tell a jury, well, I was just following what the such and such officer said. That's not going to cut it.
Right. Well, and the biggest problem is with this situation, and like I said, this was a smart play, by that chapter simply because one of these yahoos can try to make it a club thing, because this yahoo went to the store and bought a quote unquote burner phone with his colors on. So that implicated everybody. So, I mean, not only did they do the right thing, but at this point they kind of had to too, you know, because if they didn't, well, now you got everybody being looked at over these stupid asses, So, I mean, it was a smart play, but it was the human thing to do, in my opinion.
Absolutely human. But at the end of the day, Hollywood, aren't you still a snitch?
No.
Or is the definition changed?
Well, you got to ask yourself at that point, well, did they snitch? Well, everybody's going around saying, well, I'm not a motorcycle gang. Well, wait a second. You can't have it both ways. That was some cartel. That was some cartel stuff right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't know nothing about that.
If you would have went down and didn't do it, didn't let the authorities know what was going on, then you're admitting to what you say you don't like being called.
Right.
Then you got RICO acts coming down as predicates.
Exactly. My thing is like I had said when we were talking on the phone about this situation is, the thin line between snitching and being a rat and all that, there's a very thin line, no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, you got to make that choice that do you want to do the human thing or do you want to be a piece of shit just like these guys that did what you're obviously against,
Mm-hmm. Well said, man. Well said. Very well.
I mean, it's like anything, man. If you, okay, to everybody that's calling these guys a snitch, you're an asshole, by the way. But to everybody that's saying that, let's say that you're walking down the street, man, and I don't care how gangster you trying to YouTube yourself about and trying to think you are and all that stuff. You a badass 1%er, blah blah blah, right? You walking down the street, man, and you see a kid, standing on the corner, and some dude runs up on him and grabs that kid and just starts doing some horrible shit. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna go over there and save that kid? Of course you are. Most likely, I would like to hope you would. But the police are gonna be involved. So are you gonna sit there and just keep your mouth shut like a dumbass and take this case that you just killed this guy? Or are you gonna say, hey, look, that dude right here that I just beat the hell out of and stabbed 37 times in the face was trying to touch this kid, man. Now are you a snitch because you're doing that? Because you're keeping it straight one on it? I mean, there's a difference between that. Now, if you're the guy who's messing with that kid and some guy runs up on you, beats the hell out of you, calls the police and arrests you, and then you turn around and tell the police, hey man, I don't want to do the time for this, but hey, check it. My club is involved in this certain situation and I could give you info and intel on that. Now you're a freaking rat. Now you're a snitch. So there's a difference between doing the right thing as a human being and being a rat. What big difference?
Yeah. And bikers are human.
Yes, we are. Well, most of us.
Most of us, yeah. Most of us.
Yeah. Nowadays, man,
When I do the news and stuff like that, I always make sure I say it was only a few that made the whole club look bad.
Right.
And if they didn't come forward, it would have made the whole club look bad. Yep. I wouldn't have vouched for somebody like that.
Yep. Exactly. And I can't, of course, I can't say who was involved in what, but I've seen similar situations. It didn't involve kids in a family or nothing, but I've seen similar situations where a certain club hit a person over a certain crime. And you know what? That affects the whole MC world. It don't matter what club you in. We start looking at you like, damn, bro, that was kind of foul. Like, I know we all about this life, but damn, bro, for real, you're okay with that? So now we kind of start pushing ourselves away from that club too. So there's a lot that goes on to this kind of a situation.
And it makes the club look bad as well.
Yeah, it makes everybody look bad.
Well, you got to address the 1% thing, man. 1% means you're living life the way you want to live. It doesn't mean you're some freaking Jesse James or freaking 6-gun shooter going out there doing stupid stuff.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem nowadays, man. These guys that get involved in the 1% world, they think, yeah, man, it's all about, going after the enemy and shooting and killing and stabbing and fighting and checking and all this BS. That's got nothing to do with being a 1%er, man. Being a 1%er is you take this club shit, this biker shit, more serious than everybody else that's not a non 1%er. And you live by your own codes, your own life, your own ways. You walk a certain line. That doesn't mean you're a piece of shit. And that's the biggest difference, man. I've seen a lot of guys, man, they'll get in a club and they think it's all about snorting coke, banging broads, partying, and all that stuff. And hey, I'm not gonna say that ain't part of it. Don't get me twisted, but that's not what it's all about.
Well, I'd like to ask Black Dragon that question since we're having that conversation about going around, getting into crap, stabbing, shooting. Is that a gang or not?
Well, it certainly is gang-like. It certainly is gang-like. It just, I don't know, man. It just doesn't.
I put him on the spot.
It doesn't.
He put us all on the spot, bro.
I'm not. Yeah, you do that. That's that shock thing.
That's that bullshit.
But it's very difficult, and one of the reasons, there are a few reasons, but one of the reasons that I've gotten out of day-to-day biker news is I can sit up here all day long and say we're not a gang, and I want to cover the biker angle, and for the most part, we're not gangs, but there certainly is some gang ass stuff going on, or stuff that's looking really suspicious or really close to it, or you just can't even tell the difference, which means that what's the perception? If the perception, there's only so much you can say. Oh wow, man, these guys got beat up by two people. Oh well, that's just boys being boys. Yeah, it's tiring, man. It's tiresome, and that's why I got on the biker news the first time. And
well,
then,
yeah, it's sorry, good.
Everybody gets all mad, and you're just a dry snitch, blah blah blah. I didn't snitch on you, bro. It's right here on television. I just read the damn article. It's right here on television. Isn't that a picture of you right there swinging an axe handle? That's you. So after a while, it's just like, man, I'm gonna find something else to talk about. Some other things to do. Motorcycle.
It's hard with you being in a MC and stuff to be doing that kind of stuff because you got protocol you got to follow.
Right.
Straight up, you got protocol you have to follow, and I've seen a lot of people bashing on biker news. It makes us look bad. Not everybody's like that. Well, the ones in the news doing it, it's bringing news to the scene, and I think it's kind of hypocrisy on everybody else's part to say, hey, well, wait a second, why are you bringing this up? It makes us all look bad. No, you make yourself look bad.
Yeah.
Tuesday, I'll be covering a story, and I'll give you a quick one. 25 people were just arrested in Portland, I think it was Connecticut. They were running stuff out of their clubhouse, of all places. I thought you never crapped in your backyard. But anyway, There was a little league field right next door, and all their customers were walking through the little league field during games. We do that?
Man, some of these guys are the dumbest criminals I ever witnessed.
I'm not making you look bad. No, that story is worldwide right now off the wire. So when I hear people complain about BS or biker news, take a look in the mirror. It's you doing it. You're making us look bad. And that's why most bikers are independent, because they don't want to deal with that kind of stuff.
No.
But this was right
that's one of them.
A baseball,
I'm sorry.
Right next to a baseball field.
Yeah, that's dumb as hell and ignorant all at the same time.
And wrong.
Exactly. Yeah.
And wrong. Why should children have to share their ball field with somebody who uses it as a shortcut to get over here to where this nefarious activity is going on?
You know, that's why I've kind of changed up my platform a little bit. Where, you know, first of all, I never wanted to do biker news, nor do I ever want to. No, my skin too thin for all that. But it's messed up because you know we come on here, and like I remember when I first started, and I'm sure when you guys first started too, it was, you know what, I want to change society's perception on us. You know, I want to change everybody's outlook on us and blah blah blah. And then you get done, you do a great video, you show so much homage and respect to the whole MC world, and you make us look so great. And then a story like this pops up, and, you know, and it happens every friggin' week. And it gets to a point where it's like, you know what, y'all some savages, dog. Like, I'm tired of, you know, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying to make y'all son of a bitches look good. And you just keep doing silly ass shit where it's like, man, I mean, I'm done. I can't. I'm just speaking for myself now. That's it. That's all I can do. You know, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The dry snitch and that's the funny stuff. It really is.
I wish I wish.
What are you talking
I
about?
wish somebody called me that.
Right now. But you come to biker news to get your angles from a biker.
Yeah.
And I think that's been lost. It
Well,
really
yeah. Well, it has been lost. And in order to do it, you can't be in a biker club.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. And eventually, and everyone we know that has been in this, that's been in a club, usually leaves the club or leaves the sector of that. And it's just,
well, we got to clarify that there's only one guy that did the stand-up thing, and that's Shaggy 1%er. That brother did what he wanted, and he left YouTube. I don't know anybody else that's done that.
Well, there's been a couple that have left their clubs. So,
oh yeah, there's been a lot that have left their clubs.
Yeah. So leaving your club is this, could be considered the stand-up thing too, or letting
Depends how you look at it. Let me tell y'all something, man. It's not easy not being in the club either. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, and I know you two know for sure with my ass. It's not easy when you're, you know, I'm not in the MC. I'm not in AMC no more. I'm not in the MC world technically no more, but I know a lot of people, and I'm respected by my old club and other clubs, and that's hard on its own. And I don't even talk about club. Y'all don't hear me mention any club names. I don't talk about no biker news. I guarantee you my phone gonna ring after this one. I promise you.
So,
but sometimes you got to say what you got to say, and you know what? It's for the better good of the club world right now. This segment really is for the better. I just hope that everybody can grow up and see it for what it really is.
Well, that's just, you know what? Just like a lot of these trolls, they try to play creators against each other.
Oh yeah.
That's just not going for. You know what? I don't got the time. I don't got the drama, the will to have the drama anymore. We get along. You know, there was saying, well, there's a rip between you and BD. I was like, okay, thanks for letting me know.
Right.
Like, I'm glad to know now. But
Yeah,
if
when Black Dragon did his little TikTok and Instagram, when somebody had asked him about will you ever do a show with Hollywood and Danny D.Low, and he did a reply to it, a video reply. And then thanks, jerk, by the way, because then everybody started hitting me up. I had no messages about me and you and him or nothing. And then boom, everybody out of the woodwork started asking me, and I'm like, it's news to me, man. So that's why I did that one. I did a reply video of me writing, and I just yawned and I said, "Drama makes me tired."
It really does, because there's no reason we all can't get along towards the same goal. Just don't see it.
All I did
exactly
was a reply video. I just said, "Good question."
Yeah. Yeah,
no,
yeah, I know what you were doing there. Do boy, you know I'm smart. Come on, man.
You're out there causing the problems, man. What a lot of people
he over there stirring that pot. He was trying, bro. That's why I was like, nope, I'm not biting. Nope, not doing it. I know you know I'm gonna do it. Nope.
You reply back, I still love you. Damn. Listen, I
don't know, man.
I spent 3 years of my life fighting the great Chuck E. Cheese, and it was horrible for my channel. It was horrible for what I was trying to do, and I told myself I just wasn't going to be involved in that anymore. And
that'd be a fellow with Sauce, man. You guys, you and Sauce need to get together, man, and put all it behind you, discuss your issues, and it'd be fucking great. I mean, freaking great. I'm not Danny D.Low, at least try not to swear here. But if we're all going towards the
can't help it
of getting along, everybody get along,
Hey, listen, wait a minute. If Big Cell can do his shows and not get demonetized, I think a couple little swear words I throw out here are okay. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but we're on BD's channel, man. He's Mr. Rogers, but he's black.
Oh, damn.
Well, in the neighborhood.
Yeah, BD, you ain't gonna take that, are you, bro? Come on, man.
I'm it is it's 100 degrees though.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. #tag Mr. Rogers. Let's see those comments.
No.
Hashtag Mr. Rogers, baby.
Oh my god. Every time I get with you guys, I get a new hashtag.
Hey, man, we're not the ones going around buying a suit for every day of the week just to do.
Oh my goodness. So
Mr. Rogers.
Hey, did you see that one picture floating around of him all suited up with his hat and everything? Man, that boy looks sharp, man.
His cowboy hat and stuff.
Yeah, man, he was pimping.
Moving into regular news, I'm gonna have a tie on. I'm doing regular news. The biker news thing is just too much. I'm moving into regular news.
You're gonna do the green screen where the weather is sweeping up into this area right here, and
weather
do that.
I'm gonna have weather girls. Though.
Hey, do it in your short boxers like you did that one video, bro. That might work for you.
Nah, man.
You thought that was sexy, did you?
He's gonna be the.
Oh,
you got him. Here the comments come, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, there's my people. Love y'all.
Hashtag Mr. Rogers, baby.
That's right.
I think I like Mr. Phil better, or Uncle Phil better, and I hated that. So,
oh my God, he hated that.
Oh my goodness. So, yeah, I think that we definitely have spent a good amount of time, several years, for myself doing the biker news kind of thing, and I think maybe I've done some good. Maybe I've done some bad. Certainly, I've made a lot of friends, and I've made probably as many enemies.
It happens.
But I think I've done good work to cover the biker angle. I definitely tried to do
like I've said, there's only one guy that can do biker news, and that's Hollywood, bro. He just don't care.
It happens. You'd rather just see me sitting there reading a thing and okay. No. It's editorialized, man.
Right.
Absolutely.
I really laugh at people when they start talking that smack and they're like, yeah, I bet you don't be saying that to people, bro. I've sat in 1% clubhouses and said what I gotta say, dog. Let me know when you do that.
That's the thing. They don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
No, they don't.
They only see what they see on
And
camera.
they would be so surprised by the. Okay, I'll try not to swear. By the penis that they're jocking. They have no idea that most of those quote unquote people, they actually agree with us on most topics.
Oh,
They may not say it publicly much, but I've talked to many brothers, privately, and they say the same thing I say. Like, so for instance, this situation right here. If more clubs, excuse me, my allergies got me. If more clubs did what this stand-up MC did in this situation, if more clubs did, and by the way, in one of my videos, I actually said this. If you kicked out these people that do this bullshit, that bring all this heat on these chapters, there wouldn't be FBI looking at everybody all the time.
You damn right.
Society wouldn't be calling everybody a freaking gang member because you're in an MC. All this shit would change. Sure, it's going to take a while because we've messed it up pretty good. But hey, people are now using pit bulls as service dogs. The police are using pit bulls as their canines. Pit bulls used to be the most worst, horrible dog in the world. They're killers. They're vicious. They got through it. You can too. We can too. But you gotta help. You gotta help yourselves and help us too. Like we're, as creators, at least for myself, I'm trying my best to make you guys look good, but you're doing everything possible to make yourselves look like shit. So if you start, like, okay, guys, do some crazy crap like this, kick them out, goodbye, that's it, and stand behind it. Let the authorities know that you ain't down with that shit. I'm not saying all things. Don't get it twisted, y'all. Don't start fucking trying to clown me right away. But when it's heinous stuff like that, when it's the drug dealing crap, all that, man, kick these douchebags out.
Well, here's a question about that, because they're gonna come back and say, "Well, I got my brother's back no matter what." Well, did your brother have your back when he brought the heat?
You know what, man? My biggest question that I've always asked, and I've asked this many times in my life by homies on the street and even in the club world, are you willing to spend the rest of your life in prison? You'll never see your family. You'll never feel a woman's soft touch. You're never going to ride your motorcycle with your brothers. Your freedom is taken away. You're going to spend 23 mother effing hours in a bathroom, bro. A bathroom. That's all you get, man. I've been there. A bathroom. That's what you live in now for the rest of your miserable, stupid ass life. But you're going to be able to die in that joint talking about, I have my brother's back. Man, miss me with that bullshit. No, you ain't. And then, you know what? And for those that say, I sure would, that's my brother. Well, then you're a stupid ass because your brother put you in that predicament. So he was never your brother in the first place.
I seen
All right,
Mr.
I'm done.
Okay. Hey. Yeah.
Roger shaking his head. No.
No. Shaking my head. No. I ain't
doing life for nobody, bro. Nobody. I'll do life for myself and my family. Other than that, you kick rocks. Good luck.
Very well said, man. We're gonna get all kinds of haters now. You know that, right, Danny?
Yeah, you're gonna get a bunch of haters that ain't never done no time in the joint. They ain't never been snitched on. They ain't never been done dirty. They ain't never experienced any of the stuff that we're talking about because they're on YouTube watching us instead of being on their fucking motorcycle, riding and being on the street, riding, never hiding. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, they're irrelevant to me anyway. So you can hate on me all you want, y'all.
I would be guilty of that.
Well, we're all kind of guilty of that right now. We're all sitting here, but let's keep it 100.
My God, I remember the one time I went to jail for my driver's license not being right. Man, I was damn near in there crying.
Bro, don't tell the story, dog. Don't tell. I told you, don't tell this story publicly. No more, bro. No more. No,
right.
nah, bro. We can't. We can't afford this right now. This is a serious topic. We all know who's snitching if the three of us getting some shit. That's all I'm gonna say. I already know, and that's why I ain't taking Dragon with me when I TCB ever. Never ever.
Over there, I'm just sitting here for a speeding ticket. You gotta be kidding me.
I already know what I know what he was doing, Wood. He was over there. I'm not supposed to be here. Ting, 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 ting. I want to go home. Ting, 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 ting. CO! CO!
Oh, my God.
I already know.
You imagine him in Cook County, man, 26 and Cal?
Oh, my God. He would snitch on his mama, his cousins, his whole club. He would...
I'm gonna be tough in there. I know what to do.
Shit, they would see through your stuff so quick. Oh my God, in Cook County, bro. Oh my God, I don't know how it is now, but I'm sure it ain't no better, bro. But man, back in the 90s and 2000s, oof.
Bad, dude.
Oof. There's rats in there that are tougher than you, bro.
They'd have Mr. Rogers and lipstick and eyeliner, man.
Nah, I don't think he go that far.
No.
He'd be grabbing a CO real quick and telling them something way before that happened. I think
I'm gonna kill myself so they
they gonna put him in PC real fast.
My people got me. Don't worry, Black Dragon. I got your bail money. So hey, there you go.
Yeah, all right. You still got to go to county to process, bro.
I have no idea.
Hey, you know what? This is one thing that makes me mad. Speaking of Cook County, and my Chicago brothers on here, they're gonna laugh at this. They don't have the dick doctor no more. What the? Come on, bro. These guys got it easy now, man. They got it easy now.
They swabbed. I'm not gonna even get into it.
They look back, Dragon. He's like, "What?" I'm gonna tell you what happened. So
they would put a swab up your pecker to check.
So here's the whole process, Black Dragon. When you get to Cook County, right? You're walking in the hallway and there's a line, right? You got to stand up against the wall. You take all your clothes off, booty hole naked, and put them on the other side of that line. The CO, he's gonna check all your clothes and everything, and then make you do the whole song and dance. You got to bend over, cough, and all this stuff, lift your stuff. You know, look through your mouth and all that, right? So after they get done doing that, you put your clothes back on, and you go and walk the line. And then you go into the processing part, right? And there was a desk on the left, the bullpens were on the right. Yeah, I've been there. So you walk in, they put you in the bullpen, or no, they take you to the desk, I think. Man, it's been a while, so I got to remember. They take you to the desk, whatever, they process you in, they take your picture, give you your, I don't know if they gave you an ID back then. They probably give IDs now, though. But anyway, they write all up and down your arms. Then next thing you know, you go through your little, they'll test you for different diseases and stuff. They'll ask you some gang affiliated questions, stuff like that. Then you go through the P doctor, bro, and you walk this line, man, and you walk up to a bucket and he goes, lift your meat. You lift your meat and he puts a Q-tip right through it. Yeah, all the way to the booty hole and back, it feels like. And then you walk through all that crap, do your weight and shit, and then they put you in the bullpen and don't pee. I don't care how bad you feel like you gotta pee, don't pee.
I don't understand how
they're checking you for gonorrhea and stuff.
Yeah.
You got arrested for a speeding ticket. What the hell are you talking about? You're gonna run this thing up me? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it. Try.
Hey, there used to be a cop. He was a CO at Cook County back in the day. I don't know. He might still be there.
Look at all these people that have been through that. Look at this over here.
That's all my Chicago people. What up, baby?
Look at all
Yeah, we all been there, bro. We've been there.
Jeez.
But there used to be an officer. We called him Officer Swole, man. He was this big black dude, and he wore his hat like all the way down, like where you couldn't even see his eyes. And he was a big, buff, huge dude, man. Tell that dude you ain't gonna do it. Go ahead. I'd like to see what happened.
Yeah, and they didn't like white people's, man. You guys.
I've seen that dude bust some major heads in there, bro. People talk all that tough shit. Oh, yo, if you didn't have that badge, I'll whoop yo, and he put the foo flops on you.
Well,
quick.
In my experience, when I went, I do. I went, damn it. I remember they gave me a tuberculosis test against my will. I was like, I don't understand why I have to take that. And finally they said, either you take that tuberculosis test or we're going to get the officers in here with the tasers, but you will take the test. But I was fit to be tied that the government actually put damn a tuberculosis test in my arm.
Oh, yeah.
Against my will. It was horrible.
You ain't got no will in there no more, bro. That's it. You're their property now. You're just the number. Like literally, the numbers will be all written all up and down your arms. I can't tell you how many times, man. I'd be on the bus
and your bologna sandwich.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't even eat that, bro.
Wheat bread, bologna, and you just praying for some mustard so you can get some flavor up out of it.
The damn thing was green.
Oh yeah, that's at the PD. That's in the holding. Yeah, they give you a big old chunk of frozen bologna that's like half green, half yellow.
And I was like, I'm not eating this, And this some guy was like, hey, bro, I'll take it. And he ate that damn thing down like
he was in there for a little bit.
Boy, oh boy.
You know what? The first day, I was like, nope, I'm not eating it. Second day, I'm like, nah, man, I ain't eating that shit. Third day, hey, man, what time's lunch, man? I'm starving up in here, bro. I'll take that bologna sandwich right now.
Oh, my goodness. Well, listen, guys, we've been at it about an hour. Any closing statements, Hollywood? We'll start with you.
Really, this was a good subject to cover, because there are some real stand-up guys in clubs, but get rid of the bad ones. They're the ones making you look bad, and they sure the hell ain't your brothers.
Amen to that.
Danny?
Well, my closing statement, I just want to say, first of all, to the MC we're talking about, much love and respect to you guys. Y'all know who you are. I think it was a stand-up thing, what that chapter did. It was the only thing that they should have done, to be really honest. And I think more clubs should look at this situation and think about this when it happens to them. This can happen to anybody. And in order to preserve our lifestyle, sometimes you got to take a blow and you got to do what you got to do. So I commend you for what you did. Much love and respect from D.Low.
So when I first came in the club, man, we had rules. They told us things that were required of us and things that would not be tolerated. Like you were told you better not deal any drugs or do this thing or that thing, or the club will shut you out. You're down. You're done. We're men of honor here, and blah blah blah. And I think that by the most part, I think that clubs still honor that, which is why we get so angry when people call us gangs and stuff like that, because for the most part, we're honorable men. We do have some people we probably need to get rid of, but the general vibe of clubs is honorable. Everything that we do is based on our word, on our principles, and on respecting one another. And the quickest way to get into shit in the club, club against club or member against member, is some kind of way of disrespect, of not honoring the person next to you, whether you fail to keep your word, you fail to keep your distance, or you fail to keep something proper that's supposed to be done. It's normally when you fail that you have a problem in the motorcycle club world. It's pretty Neanderthal how we do it. It's black and white, or it used to be, and so I commend the organization as well, that they had to do what was right, and they did what was right. They did, as you guys said, what was human. And bikers,
well, since you guys don't say it, hats off, Banditos Washington. You kicked ass, man. That's what you know what? That's an honorable thing. But go ahead.
There you go.
Hey, y'all know me. I don't say club names ever, but I get it. Thank you for saying it at least.
They did kick ass, and and that's a damn good thing. What happened to that family, that little boy? Can you imagine making a phone call where you say, I'm dead, I'm dying right now, my family's all dead, and then somebody hear you make that phone call, walk up to you, and allegedly put 2 more bullets in your head, burn your house down, burn your father up? That's a whole lot, and it's not tolerated in any world. The families are always supposed to be off limits unless you got some real dastardly shit going on, and that's what was going on. So,
You know what? Real quick, I just want to say, I'm sorry, BD. To that kid, I know he's passed away now, but I want to say he was the only real gangster in this whole situation because he knew he was gonna die. He knew that them people were still there. He knew he was about to get it was over with, but he still made that call, man. So I just want to say rest in peace. I don't know his name, and he was a real gangster in my eyes.
Absolutely. Anyway, listen, we appreciate that. We're going to be doing more shows and things like this, and we appreciate you guys all watching from all of our perspective channels. We absolutely appreciate that. Hollywood is going to upload his video. I guess it must have froze on him or something. So
Yeah, I'll be
we just appreciate you guys, and you'll see Hollywood. You'll be on in the morning. You got a show in the morning. What are you going to be covering in the morning? You know yet?
Well, yesterday, it's kind of down the road with this. That shooting out in Vegas, and a Vagos member stepped up and said it was a cowardly thing that happened.
And D.Low, you got something coming tomorrow?
I'm hoping I'll upload something, but real quick, I just want to close out by saying to all my supporters out there, thank you for the good wishes and everything. You guys hitting me up, checking on me, seeing if I'm okay after my accident. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Much love and respect to you guys. I'm sorry I haven't been doing any videos, but like I said, I was this relaxing and getting better and trying to anyway. I'm still in pain, but I'm doing what I got to do. And I promise you, I'll start putting videos up this week. So thank you.
I was sorry to hear about your accident. I'm glad, you're
Thanks.
off, and I'm like, dude, you walked away from that thing. So
yeah, that's the main thing, man. I walked away, and I'm alive, and God blessed me with many more days, hopefully. So it could have been way worse. The bike, it is what it is. Me, it is what it is. I can't talk much on it, obviously, but at least I can still do my videos for a little bit. Can't do anything on my bike right now, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna try my best to do as much as I can for you guys.
Hollywood, happy Father's Day to you, man.
You too, man.
Are you a father, Danny? I don't know. We never talked about that.
No, I'm not.
Okay, happy future Father's Day to you. When
It's actually nah, man. Don't be wishing that BS on me, bro. Nope. It's actually it's a shitty day for me, to be honest. My dad died in 01, and even though it's been a long time, Father's Day really bothers me really bad. Like it's taken a lot of strength to do this show today. So but yeah, happy Father's Day to Hollywood Dragon, to everybody watching, and spend all the time you can with your kids, and spend all the time you can with your fathers, man, because when they're gone, I don't care how old you get, I don't care how much time passes, the shit still hurts like it was yesterday if you're close to him. So, I still cry every Father's Day, every Christmas I cry too, so it is what it is, but much love and respect to everybody.
Hey, you guys have a good night, man. It's nice getting back with y'all again. Missed y'all. We'll do it again.
Yeah, missed you too, man.
All right. Hey, Hollywood, take care. Love you much. Miss you. Take care, bro.
All right, man.
All righty. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll be on in the morning with something. My new format. As you guys know, I don't know, man. Biker news is so much in me, man. All these dang stories coming. So yeah, I'll do some level of biker news. It's just not going to be quite what I've been doing. But we're gonna have fun. Whatever we do, we're gonna have fun. So thanks for tuning in this Sunday. I'm Black Dragon. That's our 2 cents. Love to get y'all's 2 cents in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in and get skinny. And of course, get the book. Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book. Okay, here, let's check this out real quick. You know, I've been talking about my hero soap. I wanted to show you guys. Here's my empty bag of my hero soap. I actually use this stuff. I'm going to do a commercial with me in the shower. You guys will like that, won't you? Won't you guys like seeing me in the shower? I'm going to have a model with me. You know, some sort of maybe 2 or 3 models around me. I don't know if you guys remember the commercials that used to have Joe Namath in them. Great balls of comfort with Noxzema. You remember those commercials? Are you guys old enough for that? Where he had these models around him. He's in the shower and he's got this Noxzema cream. Yeah. So I'm going to do me some, you guys want to see me naked, right? So anyway, this Hero Soap Company, I use this stuff. They sent it to me. I used it. And it's awesome stuff. And what I like about it, and you know, I'll just be kind of cool with this, is that it's manly. It smells good. They got all kinds of soaps. They've got lavender and all these kind of manly smells. Peppermint tea tree, peppermint cool, spearmint. The woods. They have body washes now, which is new for them. They didn't have the body washes when they first contacted me, but they got them now. What I like about these folks is that they give a percentage of their sales back to charities that are focused on helping veterans and first responders. So that's, they say, we want to thank you for helping us support our veterans. So if you, and first responders, so if you buy some of this soap, they're going to send, you can get a subscription. That's the other thing. You can get a soap subscription, like you can get a razor blade subscription. And if you buy their soap, a few things happen. One, they send, you get some soap to wash your ass. They get some money, that part of it they're going to give to veterans and first responders. And if you use the discount code Black Dragon, which is what we're hoping you use, they will give a percentage to us as well, which helps keeps the show supported. So good on them, good on you, good on us. And of course, you guys know I love these rings. My sister accused me of having demonic rings. How you gonna accuse me? She told me she was terrified of my rings, and she said each ring was more demonic than the one that I would previously put on. Each one was more terrifying than the previous one. And I don't understand how she could say that about my rings. My rings are cool. You know, you gotta use some cool rings if you're, you know, these are my rings, man. So if you like rings, like I like rings, biker rings, you can go here to Gothic Rings, GTHIC.com. Just like with the soap company, if you use your discount code of Black Dragon, you get you a very cool discount, 20% in this case. I like the Medusa ring, man. They got some very cool rings here. They got Masonic rings, you know. So use these folks. They got pewter and all kind of stuff, silver, actual silver in these rings, and they've got stainless steel rings. Man, their rings are the bomb. I like them. I wear them. So get you some. Get you some, man. Get you some.
You are fake news.
Black Dragon Biker. Prepare yourself to